Welcome back to our channel, everyone. If you followed us at all, you realize that we haven't posted a video in quite some time. That's because we are full-time farmers and it has been a very busy growing season. And we're just now getting our breath and slowing down for the year. We delivered our last vegetable boxes right before Christmas, and we're going to declare that the end of the growing season for a while. It is now the end of December, and while we can continue to produce and grow vegetables almost year-round in our area, we are in Zone 6, almost 7 in central Kentucky, so we can do a lot of year-round production. But this time of year we choose to not do that, but slow down, rely on some of our storage crops, and take a break. That means picking up some of our projects like making videos that we don't normally have time for in the growing season. So we're here today with a video that's going to answer a question that we get a lot. Since it is almost the start of the new year, it's New Year's is just a couple of days away. People want to know, what do you do this time of year? They know that we are farmers. They know that we run a diversified, small to mid-sized farm, 30 acres, vegetables, livestock, orchards, small fruit. We do greenhouse production. So what do you guys do in the wintertime? Well, today I'm going to answer that question by saying a lot. We slow down a little bit, and January is really our slowest month. But there's a lot of stuff going on a farm like ours, even this time of year. The biggest thing we do this time of year is to plan for next year. We look back on the previous season and see what crops did well, what we need more of, what we need less of. If there's anything we want to change, we'll plan for that for next year. Now, after 20-some years of doing this, there's not a whole lot of big changes we make, but we're always trialing new varieties. We're always trying something a little bit different to improve our system, to make it better, more sustainable. So we think about those things this time of year and plan for that. If we order seeds or other supplies in, that's already been done. Those things are on the farm, ready to go because we start very early. In fact, some of our earliest seedings go in December. So the earliest flowers, if we're doing Lysianthus from seed, or begonias, petunias, some of those crops are seeded really early. The earliest vegetable crop are sweet onions, and we seed those the end of December as well in order to have transplants ready by March. We also do our taxes and all the financial work that goes with running a small business. And that's a mistake a lot of farmers make, is not treating their farm like a business, because it is a small business. You can grow all day long, you can enjoy what you do, you can sell produce, you can enjoy the lifestyle of being a farmer. But if you can't run a sustainable, profitable business, then you're not going to continue to do that very long. So you have to treat a farm like a business, and that means doing all the paperwork, the taxes and the forms and things that legally go with it. So we have to do that this time of year as well. So we become bookkeepers for just a little bit of time in the middle of the winter. We are a diversified farm, which means we have livestock. So if you have a vegetable farm and that's all you do, you could probably take a couple of months off in the wintertime. But we cannot, because we have animals that have to be tended to, that have to be fed every single day. So we have grass-fed beef, we have chickens, rabbits, we have sometimes other animals that all have to be fed and kept water to during freezing, muddy temperatures. And so that keeps us busy in the wintertime. We're also working on fertility this time of year. We have animals that supply most of our fertility. We're very low input. Most of our fertility comes from green manure crops and our animals. So we're running our chickens over our production plots. That does a couple things. It spreads their manure for us, and it fertilizes the ground for next year. We also would be spreading animal manures, compost. We would be prepping beds for next year. So we will be mulching no-till beds. We'll be applying manures and other sources of fertility on those beds now so that they'll be safe to use in the spring. So you want several months between application of especially fresh manure to when you're planting and then when you're harvesting your crops. So winter or fall is a really good time to apply that fresh manure. We also have manure that comes from our deep litter systems, whether that's the chicken house that we keep the small chickens in until they're able to go out into the chicken tractor, or maybe the deep litter system for pigs. Either one, that manure has to be spread as well. We do that this time of year. We are also repairing and maintaining things. A lot of things when you're busy in the summertime get broken and you don't have time to repair them. So this is the time of year where we do maintenance on vehicles, on tools. We do all those things that we don't have time for in the summer, but we can play catch up this time of year. So that takes a little work. We also do organization. We do general cleaning of the high tunnels. We do cleaning and prepping of our supplies and organizing those supplies, doing a seed inventory, organizing pots and making sure we do have everything we're going to need for the coming year. And that takes a lot of work, and especially if you're not well organized, like sometimes it becomes. So this is the time of year that we do those things, we organize well so that it saves us time in the middle of summer. Every year it also seems like we're having new building projects around the farm. This year we are replacing our compost bins that have been functioning for years and years. So they've lasted a long time, but they've sort of rotted out because we did do those with pallets a long time ago, so they will eventually rot. So we're replacing our compost bins, which means all the compost that's ready has to be taken out and has to be spread in the orchards or on our permaculture plantings, wherever we use that type of compost. We also have a new polytunnel or a high tunnel to put up. So that's laying in a pile, and we have for a couple of months to get that thing up and functioning correctly. We are also putting in an office in the barn. Now, we haven't had an office for a long time. It's as long as we've been doing this. Our office has been the kitchen table. And that's perfectly fine. It worked perfectly fine. But we had the space and we thought it would be helpful for the business. This is also the time of year where we can go take a few vacation days. If you know any farmers, it's likely that they don't take summer vacations because that's the busiest time of year, and often we can't get away from our markets, from our customers, especially if we don't have a lot of employees to take care of things for us while we're gone. So we just don't take summer vacations. We normally take some time off in the fall or winter, and that's great if you're going to the beach. We like to go to the woods, so often we've done a lot of winter camping, and we still do a lot of winter backpacking and camping. It's really a good time of year to do that. It's really quiet, there's nobody out there, and there's no bugs. So winter is when our family goes out into the woods and enjoys ourselves. This is normally the time we start pruning in the orchards. We have an acre or two of apple, pear, peach, and some odds and ends of small fruit and such, and they have to be pruned every year. So that's a pretty big job. We like to get started in January, but we hardly ever do. More likely it's February or March. Those are also the months where we have workshops on the farm. We have pruning workshops, we have grafting classes, and we'll do that on the farm in the winter months as well. Farming is very seasonal where we're at. We're in the northern hemisphere. We have seasons. We just passed the winter solstice, which was the longest night of the year, and now the days are progressively getting longer and longer, heading towards spring. But we have a long way to go yet. But the seasonality of living in this type of environment, I think, is very natural, especially for those that have grown up in this area. We lived for a couple of years just a couple ticks north of the equator, where we worked in sustainable agriculture overseas, and we really didn't have any seasons. This wasn't even a monsoonal season. It was just completely rainy all year long and hot and tropical, and daylight was the same almost year round. And that takes some getting used to. We prefer actually having some seasons, some of that seasonality where things slow down in the fall, your body recovers from the busy growing season, and you get to recuperate a little bit and do some different things in the wintertime. It really changes the pace up of farming, and it's a renewal time where you can really just recharge your batteries, and it's important for us to slow down and do some things we like to do this time of year. Winter is also the time we catch up on what little marketing we do, which means attending farmers market meetings, teaching at some conferences, connecting with CSA customers or finding new ones. We also do some writing projects, books, magazine articles, and speaking of books, it's the time of the year we get to catch up on all our summer reading that we actually didn't do in the summer. Come here, cat. Oh, and here's one of the new office cats. This one would be Miss Kitty. So there's a lot of different things that continue to go on year-round on a farm like ours, but those things change day in and day out, so you never know what you're going to get. That's a good thing, and we enjoy that, and it keeps things fresh, it keeps things exciting, and it keeps me wanting to get up in the morning and seeing what's in store. That's a great thing about farming, and that's a great thing I would recommend to everyone else about this lifestyle and about this job. So as we look forward to the coming year, we hope to be able to make more videos. If you guys like these videos, if you think they're instructive in any way, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit your notification bell. Give us a thumbs up. We'll try to make some more videos as we go through this growing season to show you guys what it's like starting in January, trying to do maybe a video 1 or 2 every month in order to show what the normal season is like for a farm like ours, a small family farm. So look forward to more videos in the future, many of which will be based on my book, The Complete Guide to Survival Gardening, available on Amazon. If you haven't picked up a copy of that, I guarantee you it'll be well worth your time, especially since we are moving into another growing season. So thanks for joining us, and I hope to see you